Right, Saturday, 5:30 p.m, Enzo Maresca's Chelsea Football Club take the trip to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to face Thomas Frank's Spurs side, who at the time of recording are sat third in the Premier League. Not for long. Anyway, I am here today joined by Tobes to help me preview the game. Thanks for coming down today, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, good,
All
mate,
good?
good.
Good stuff.
Kind of
good
looking
stuff.
forward to this.
Listen, firstly, before we get into it, make sure you smash a like on the video. Tobes' channel is linked in the description to this video. Go over there, subscribe to it. Make sure you are, because he's got some really good videos on there. I'm going to put it out there. I think that Spurs' position is a little bit flattering in terms of what I've seen on the eye so far from them this season. Is that just me being a Chelsea fan and hating on Spurs, or is there a little bit of validity to that claim in your opinion?
I think it's fair. I think that Everton game in particular, watching that wasn't a 3-0.
Wasn't a 3-0, was it?
That wasn't a 3-0. Like,
No.
Van der Ven's bagged two off a corner, then there's another header. You're like... It's just... there's a lot of Stoke teams walking around the league at the moment, a bit high up than they probably should be, but hopefully it kind of levels out. So.
It's weird, isn't it? Like, before we get into Spurs, who obviously, look, relegation candidates last season, I think they'll just be able to squeeze away from that section this season. But poorest league overall in a couple of seasons when you get to that bottom end of it, would you say?
To watch, I think it's the worst. Like,
really?
In a long time. Yeah, mate. It's like teams have spent a lot. Like, I get it. If Brentford want to chuck a ball in the box constantly and be Stoke, I don't like it, but I get it. If teams have spent $1 billion, hundreds of millions to launch a long throw in the box or take 5 minutes taking a corner, like, something's gone wrong there. I want to see.
They did beat Real Madrid though.
Do you know what I mean? That's their
trophy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, well done, guys. Cute. But I don't know. I would want more from us as well. It's like this season we're a bit reliant on set pieces, like corners and that. And I kind of think, come on, I want to see. That's why we've been talking about the idea of Estevao starting, because it's somebody who can be more creative and show some magic on the pitch. Like, that's what you pay the big money for, don't you?
Yeah.
So as an entertainment product, I think Premier League's a bit shaky at the moment.
There's not been like a host of great games so far.
And like
this
players.
season.
That Voltemada's been one of the only players where I'm like, oh, this guy looks. He looks a player, man. Big lanky thing, but he's all techie.
Brian like that.
He
loves it when Newcastle get a bit of love on the podcast.
Oh,
He
really?
watches
Yeah.
them well. I mean, to be fair, he's a player of Voltemada. We were linked with him, weren't we?
I know, but he's just weird because I look at him, you think, oh, it's going to be Crouch, and he's like backheeling things.
He ain't Crouch.
No, not at all.
But I don't think that Voltemada could smash the podcast game like Crouchy has. So different jobs for different needs, to be completely honest with you. We were linked with him, yeah? And this is why Bayern are dirty little dogs, in my opinion. Do you know the whole story with the Voltemada before he went to Newcastle? So it worked really well for Newcastle in the end, because they were going to go for Strand Larsen. Yeah, I think they went like £50 million bid for him or something, or €50 million bid for him, right? And it's one of them where it's like, if you don't get Strand Larsen, before you know it, you're bidding for Brower. No offence, right? Okay.
How did we get to
No, it's mad, isn't it? And I love Brower. I actually love Brower. I actually do love the kid. So I feel well bad, like, bantering him. But before you know it, you're going for Brower. What I'm saying is this, right? Voltemada was sort of, what's the word? Benchmarks, earmarks, something like that, or whatever. He was identified by Chelsea, right? We looked at him and we were like, this kid's good. Bayern wanted him, right? And then, when it became apparent that he wasn't going to go to Bayern because he wanted to go somewhere and be the main man, that's why Newcastle set up perfectly for him. And that's why I don't believe necessarily that he would have been as much of an instant success at Chelsea. I think the class would have shone through overall. But Newcastle were already set up to play with a number 9, pretty direct, pretty intricate on the ball, good in tight spaces, things like that. It's actually not a million miles away from Isaac in terms of just style of play.
Yeah.
So he was more set up for Newcastle. But Bayern Munich did this little thing where they said they were pulling out of the race to sign him, and they couldn't believe the amount that the English clubs were willing to spend on.
Oh, sorry, you remember me, that director or something. What did he say? He was like...
But basically, that he was a lesser level footballer, and he couldn't believe that the English clubs were willing to part with the amount of cash that was being sort of tossed about for that level of player. I believe that he was doing it because he didn't want the English clubs to come in for him, and then he could have got him for a cheaper price the next summer. But who knows?
Jackson, so
there you go. Now he's got. How's Jackson doing? Have you even watched him?
I think he scored the other day. I don't know. I don't think he's playing loads. So
he's a bit of a Spurs player, Jackson.
Good memories of Jackson at Spurs, though.
We do have some great memories of Jackson.
Well, like weirdly,
Spurs.
like probably the worst, like one of the worst performances I've ever seen where someone's got a hat trick.
Is it the worst hat trick you've ever seen?
Maybe because he could have had 8. Like Ange's brave high line and all that bollocks. Like that was a weird night.
Do you remember when it was Vicario in goal that day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Do you remember when he rounded Vicario and still nearly missed in that game? He scores. He scores in the end, but he nearly falls over his
feet.
Did
a Ronaldo celebration and everything, didn't he?
Yeah. That was pretty good. So far this season, Spurs' wins in the league have come over, and this is how I sort of build confidence going into games, just by downplaying everyone. Newly promoted Burnley, right? To be fair, the newly promoted sides, and we just alluded to this, have all been pretty decent.
I'm really happy with that.
Yeah.
Like, it's been boring, isn't it, the last few years, because who comes up and goes down. Whereas like this year, like, West Ham might go.
And that's why Chelsea, the higher minds than us, have looked at that. They thought football fans are getting a little bit bored. Let's let Sunderland have a cheeky little 2-1 win here. Spice things up a little bit. We don't mind, contributing towards the betterness of the game. But yeah, so they won against newly promoted Burnley. A very, very solid win over Manchester City. However,
City Spurs is always a bit weird as well.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Like, even Ange won there. Ange won there 4-0 actually, so maybe they got worse.
I know. They came
17th and they won 4-0 there. So
it's one of them ones where, like, Man United can be shit and still sometimes get a win over City. Spurs are a bit like that. Not even Spurs can be. Spurs are shit,
like
but they'll still...
United and us. We never win at Old Trafford.
Well, like 11 years, I think.
When Fergie was there, we got some results. We'd win here and there. Since Fergie's gone, we'd never win. And they're terrible, but we never get a result there. It doesn't matter what form we're in, what form they're in.
Yeah.
It never happens.
And that's the thing. Sometimes football's written. Sometimes there's a script and it gets followed and whatnot. And that script predominantly would tell us that over the... I was about to say the past few years. It's funny you mentioned Peter Crouch. I'm going back to when they nipped him for Champions League football, right? All them years ago. That's like 10 years ago now. It's always been a very competitive fixture. I'm not saying City ain't gone out there and smashed Spurs a couple of times. It's always been a very competitive fixture. Then you're looking at a 10-man West Ham side that they beat. Newly promoted Leeds, once again. We're bigging up the newly promoted teams, but they are newly promoted teams. And then most recently Everton, which a scoreline was way more flattering than the actual performance on the eye. And with that, I'd make an argument that I ain't seen Spurs play well in about a month of football, if you look at it. Because in the last month, you've got draws against the likes of Wolves, Bodo Glimt and Monaco, yeah? Monaco's a hard gaff to go to and, get a win, but it is what it is. Losses to Villa and Newcastle, right? No shame in it, by the way. But if you're Spurs and you're aspiring to be that fifth place team, then they're the teams that you need to be getting at least draws against. And then, obviously, the wins, as we said, against like Leeds and Everton. So what do you make of Spurs this season under Thomas Frank?
They're more solid than they were under Ange. They were easier to play against. I think these will be tough because they're just like physical and they'll sit back against us. They play football that we don't cope well with.
Their defence suits this manager way more than it suits
because it's not like Van der Ven's hamstrings aren't pinging off because he's having to defend his stupid high line. Exactly. So like they're sat back more. They're doing a lot more long throws and corners and all that. Like that's where I think that will be a problem for us. But I don't look at them and think, oh wow, look at the quality they've got. Like Kudus is right.
Well, this is the thing.
He's all right.
This is the thing, right? That's the one man that I would look to and be like, well, Kudus is one that I kind of worry about. It's a player that we were linked with for so fucking long. Yeah. But, like you say,
I just don't worry about Kudus. Do you know what I mean? I think I look at Kudus and go, yeah, it's a good player. But, like, other than Elise, I can't remember the last player that gave Cucurella a big problem. Like, Elise had him at times in the Bayern game. That was about it.
The thing is, I think that players would give him way less of a problem if he just was a left back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Cucurella, I speak about this all the time. Cucurella, for me, is if this is even a position, a wide number 10. So he's not a winger.
Yeah.
He's not a winger. He's not a number 10. He somehow plays in the channel between the two.
He's everywhere, yeah.
If that makes sense. He's like a wide number 10 to me. So sometimes when you see Cucurella up against someone, what you've got to remember is they've got the ball at their feet and they're about to start running. Cucurella's already ran 40 metres just to get in the position to get in that 1v1. So sometimes you might see, I mean, I'm about to name a really good player there, but like a Semenyo, someone like that, yeah, they might go past him a few times in a game, but that's because he is tasked with doing a lot more.
He does so much.
Yeah.
Like, he's so underrated by everyone else because he has... I've said this for ages. If he had a fade, people would have him in different conversations.
Yeah.
Like, his hair genuinely makes people think he's shit, and he's actually quality.
Mate, our left-hand side, like, I'm sure he gets stick just from the hair, yeah? And then now, more often than not, we've been starting Garnacho in front of him.
Yeah, that's a hated left-hand side.
Like, you'd have to get a left-sided pivot. I'm trying to think, who could play a pivot left-sided that's really, really fucking hated?
With Bruno Fernandes. Like,
if you put Bruno in there, that would be the most booed side ever.
That side of the ground would have to be like... They'd have to get the fences put back up.
Even the West Stand would boo.
Yeah.
Even though there's no away fans in it, I think even the West Stand would boo, just because it's close to the Matthew Harding. I think it's undeniable that Spurs are a better team this season. At the same time, I think that some of the business that they're doing... Because, like, look, Liverpool are Media FC. People don't like to call out any bad business that they've done. But... us lot in the football world, we're up for doing it, right?
We're the heroes.
And there you go. Not all heroes wear capes. But what I would say is some of Spurs' business got a little bit under the radar, right? So I think that there's no doubt that you can only be upgrading, bringing Paulinho into your team. I think there's probably only 5 Premier League sides that he doesn't just walk into the starting lineup. So Paulinho's always going to be an upgrade there. And then Kudus, you're looking at him with 5 league goal involvements in the opening 9 games. Not bad at all. Van der Ven, Romero, they look like a way more decent partnership, as you've just suggested there, under the new manager, under Thomas Frank, than they did under Ange Postecoglou. However, with those two, I do feel like they've got a bit of a tendency that if games aren't going their way, they do just hit the fuck it button sometimes.
I think it's us though specifically.
Yeah.
I think
Wind
we
right
are
up.
Spurs' fuck it button. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is that they can't keep their heads in so many games we've had with them over the years. Like just so unnecessarily. Even in that 4-1 from a few years ago, it was like they're not even losing the game.
Yeah.
There's no need. Like, there's no need to be pressing those buttons, but they do for some reason. Like, I rate them as a duo. I rate Romero. I don't think he gets up to as much of that anywhere near anymore, but I could never rule a Spurs player losing their head against us out and getting sent off.
That 4-1 you talk about, yeah? You remember they went 1-0 up?
Yeah.
Do you remember they went 2-0 up?
Yeah, offside. Yeah.
Right? Offside Son goal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Might have been Son, I
think it was.
Yeah, right? When they went 2-0 up, that took a little bit of time for them to rule out that goal. I think it was VAR that disallowed it. So they've gone 2 up. I still thought we were winning that game. At 2-0 up, I still thought that we were going to win it. Do you know what I mean?
It was like last year when Cucurella had, I can't remember what he had. He had like slippers on or something and he just kept falling over and we gave away 2 goals.
Remember that?
But
yeah,
even when we gave away 2,
boots.
it was like, no, we can beat these.
We do.
We can beat these.
We do them. Would you say we dodged a little bit of a bullet with not getting Xavi Simons?
A little bit.
The reason I say this, right, is because 1, he's been pretty shit for Spurs. But 2, like, I think that there's a debate to be had because Esteval was already coming in. So I don't think that we can go, look, we didn't get Xavi Simons, but we've got a 19-year-old wonder kid who's scored in every single competition he's played in so far and isn't even a first-team player so far. So we've got the way better package there. But Esteval was already coming in from the season before. So really, I think we're looking at Gittins and I think we're looking at Garnacho when we look at a Xavi Simons.
Well, that's what I thought. Because in summer, the way it was sold to me, because I was thinking, if he's a 10, he's not going to play ahead of Palmer, is he?
No.
We know he's not. There's not a 10 that's going to play ahead of him, so it's going to be a left winger. And when I watch this guy, I'm like, this guy, he's just not a left winger.
No.
Like, if we'd signed him and seen this guy start on the left, we'd be asking for Gittins and Garnacho to start anyway. So, yeah, it's one of those ones where he might be an all right player, he might be an all right 10, but he wouldn't get ahead of Palmer, so you wouldn't sign him for that. And then you'd pay 60 million for a backup number 10.
No.
Exactly.
And to be honest, like towards the end of last season, we even saw JOEYK go out over on that left-hand side.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't swap him for
No,
Xavi Simons.
I'd have kept him over.
But if you check the receipts, you'll probably see me saying we should go out and get Xavi Simons. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, likewise, yeah.
I would have been...
No, because you can't walk around with a name like Xavi and not sound like you're going to be a really good footballer. But as people who aren't watching the Bundesliga,
there you go.
Go off the name, you're like, sounds like a good player.
The Xavi would have definitely had a better return than 1 assist in 11 goals across all competitions for Spurs so far this season. Do you think he'll come good there? Or do you think it's the style of play thing? Because, say, for example,
maybe
right,
a bit, yeah.
Thomas Frank, our favourite bookies of all time, is now officially Stakemate. And it should be yours too, for good reason, by the way, because it's actually the only way you can guarantee to chat to the big dog and I directly. But what is Stakemate, you may ask? Well, this review on the App Store will explain it far better than I can. Stakemate is as if Bet365 and Snapchat had a baby. But how does it work? Well, firstly, you need to go to the link inside the description to this video. Hit that link if you are 18 years old or over and living inside the UK. And once you do so, all you need to do is download the Stakemate app. Going through the sign-up process literally takes 2 minutes, and then once you're logged in, go to the bottom of the page and hit groups. Then at the top of the page, you will see invite code, and that is where you want to type the code JOEYK. Once you've done so, you will be in the Joey Night squad, able to converse with myself, Josh, and all of the members that we have got in there, as well as being able to ask us our questions, who we're backing this weekend, even suggest bets of your own. And one of the reasons I personally love Stakemate so much is how quickly you can get your payouts, almost instantly, and far quicker than any other betting app I've used in the past. And talking of payouts, how about this? The early payouts on Stakemate are ridiculous. So if you have a team in your accumulator and they go 2-0 up, they will pay you out straight away, regardless of the result of that game come the final whistle. And it doesn't just end there. Stakemate are famous for offering far more free bets than any other bookmakers, and they've got a 4.6 rating on Trustpilot. So join me by hitting the link in the description and downloading Stakemate today. But remember, you must be 18 years old or over, living inside the UK, and most importantly, we all need to remember to gamble responsibly. Let's get back into it. Our favourite bookies of all time is now officially Stakemate, and it should be yours too, for good reason, by the way, because it's actually the only way you can guarantee to chat to the big dog and I directly. But what is Stakemate, you may ask? Well, this review on the App Store will explain it far better than I can. Stakemate is as if Bet365 and Snapchat had a baby. But how does it work? Well, firstly, you need to go to the link inside the description to this video. Hit that link if you are 18 years old or over and living inside the UK. And once you do so, all you need to do is download the Stakemate app. Going through the sign-up process literally takes 2 minutes, and then once you're logged in, go to the bottom of the page and hit groups. Then at the top of the page, you will see invite code, and that is where you want to type the code JOEYK. Once you've done so, you will be in the Joey Night squad, able to converse with myself, Josh, and all of the members that we have got in there, as well as being able to ask us our questions, who we're backing this weekend, even suggest bets of your own. And one of the reasons I personally love Stakemate so much is how quickly you can get your payouts, almost instantly, and far quicker than any other betting app I've used in the past. And talking of payouts, how about this? The early payouts on Stakemate are ridiculous. So if you have a team in your accumulator and they go 2-0 up, they will pay you out straight away, regardless of the result of that game come the final whistle. And it doesn't just end there. Stakemate are famous for offering far more free bets than any other bookmakers, and they've got a 4.6 rating on Trustpilot. So join me me by hitting the link in the description and downloading StakeMate today. But remember, you must be 18 years old or over, living inside the UK, and most importantly, we all need to remember to gamble responsibly. Let's get back into it. I was just thinking of like playmakers under Thomas Frank, right? The first guy that come into my head, I've got bad memories sitting at Stamford Bridge watching him play against us, was Christian Eriksen for some reason.
He was wicked, yeah.
You know what I mean? He was good when Thomas Frank signed him.
He was a good player.
So
And at Spurs.
he did play deeper for Brentford. But obviously, listen, they've had some good playmakers over the years under Thomas Frank. Do you think he can get the best out of a Xavi Simons, or do you think it's
I do, but I wonder if like when Maddison comes back, like if you said to me, what does Xavi Simons look like? He don't look better than Maddison, does he?
No, and Maddison's more Premier League proven.
Right.
And Maddison, do you know what? It's hard because language barrier and whatnot, you never really know. And obviously, when you haven't watched them come from their league you've come from,
Yeah, he might adapt.
You don't know, and you don't know what their confidence is like. But I tell you one person who is confident when they're fit and available, and that's Maddison. Like Maddison's not looking at Xavi Simons and thinking like,
oh, that's my spot gone.
Yeah,
no, exactly.
Yeah,
and if he's getting shoved on the left, I'm like, I don't really see him lasting as a winger either. So I don't know, tricky for him.
And by the way, when we're talking about flop signings that have gone under the radar, Matthias Tell, anyone remember him?
Yeah, I remember January, everyone panicking that we didn't get him, and I was thinking, no one's watched him. Why are we like let's not?
You know what the funny thing is? You know when he went there on loan, he actually looked alright.
Yeah, but even then, it was like, did anyone really properly watch? They were like 17th. How good was he?
I don't watch him.
How amazing! Thanks. Exactly. I won't watch him Tell really. I might see.
Do you know what the biggest problem in this industry is? Fucking liars.
Oh, mate, people love it. It's like I said, it's January. We don't sign a player. Everyone's losing their mind. You're like, no one's watched him here.
Yeah.
We're losing our mind about a player that doesn't exist. Like just the idea of a player. Like no one's actually watched this guy. How good is he? He's done nothing for Spurs.
Mate, this come across as like an unpopular take, or the people that actually like are in the know will be like, yeah, fair play, right? There's players in the Premier League that I haven't watched. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, people think, yeah, if you've got a football podcast, that you should be watching Ligue 1 fucking Nice against, I don't know, against Strasbourg. Yeah. Ironically, that would be one that we actually might watch because Strasbourg connection, yeah. But I don't know, whoever, Nice against Lille, I should be watching that on a Tuesday night. Do you know what I mean? It's like, no, you don't watch every single player every single time. Mate, and therefore, when we were linked with the likes of Voltemada, when we were linked with the likes of Matthias Tell, for example, I'm only really going on what I'm watching from
a little comp
YouTube compilations. Yeah,
I'm the exact same. It's like, mate, how exciting was Nkunku?
Yeah.
How exciting was Werner? Havertz, like, all those guys. It's like you watch a little comp and you go, oh, we've signed one of the best players in the world.
And then would you start to realise over time, yeah? Do you know what you start to realise over time? And I'll bar sort of Caicedo from this argument, and that's not to downplay Enzo. I'm not saying like Enzo's one that I regret, nothing like that. But Caicedo, I can just bar him from the argument. But what I would say is the prolonged sagas aren't usually the players that end up going on to be like real important players. Yeah, and as well, like look at how Cole Palmer came about.
Yeah, nothing.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, yeah.
Out of nowhere. Do you know who Cole Palmer was? Well, he was the choice behind. The rumour is that Cole Palmer was the third choice.
Right.
He was the third choice for that position.
That mad.
Right? Do you know who he was 100% behind? I know this for a fact.
Who?
Kudus.
Right.
So he was behind Kudus, clearly seen as a winger, probably more than a 10. He was behind Kudus, and tell me in the comment section below, he was behind someone else. There was someone else we were going for. Could have been Xavi Simons even back then, but there was someone else that we wanted to go for instead of Cole Palmer. He came in as third choice option.
Where would we be without?
Exactly. Exactly. Cole Palmer won't be starting in this game, and that in seasons gone by has been a real problem for us. Like, I remember the drubbing against Arsenal. As soon as I saw that Cole Palmer's name wasn't on the team sheet, were you there? Oh, fuck that. How long did you stay for?
I think it went 4-0, and me and my mate were like, I'm not doing that.
That second half, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because it was only like 2 at half time.
Oh, yeah, no, it was second half, but it was just like, I think when Ben White's scoring against you, you're like, fucking hell, mate.
It's worse when Havertz is scoring and celebrating against you, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. By then we were gone.
He already scored since then, to be fair, so it don't really matter all that much. 4 wins in a row against Spurs, and despite suffering a loss to them in what I literally can only class as the depths of depravity under Graham Potter.
Yeah,
that
that
season.
wasn't real.
It weren't really real.
No.
Didn't really happen. It was just
That
a
was
bad
like
dream.
some weird dream. Yeah.
Listen, they've been in their gaff about 6 years now, and
We must have the best record there. I feel like we win there. Like,
yeah,
we've lost one game there, and we haven't drawn any.
we lost the game when
Potter
Thiago Silva did the goal line clearance, but we lost it 2-0.
Yeah, that was a Potter year.
Who was it? It was their midfield. Højbjerg. Or was it Skip?
Skip scored a goal, and Kepa like pushed it in or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's our only loss there.
I think that is. I'm pretty sure it is.
But I think Frank won there around Christmas. I think William got 2.
Well, there's a cup match in it that I think maybe
we lost on penalties.
Yeah, I don't class that.
Oh, that don't count.
Draw, innit?
Yeah, it's a draw. Yeah. So, but I think all the other ones. I remember Tuchel just was beating them every time. Every time.
Oh yeah, off the park.
Because we got them in like Carling Cup and that as well, and we're still beating them.
Yeah.
Like...
I love the fact you called it the Carling Cup. That's what I call it.
It is the Carling Cup.
It is the Carling Cup. It is the Carling Cup. Carling. Do you know what? Carling was a great beer back in the day. It doesn't really get its props nowadays.
I haven't seen it on a lineup like a back four in a long time.
Carling, Foster's.
Foster's, I haven't seen on a back four.
What's the other one? Like Stella's had good longevity, but Carling, Foster's, and there's one more.
It's all these IPAs now, and
weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Not big on it.
What is your tickle?
I would normally get. I don't mind a San Miguel.
Yeah.
I actually don't mind those Jew bells.
Really?
I think they're all right. Yeah.
You had a Modelo?
No.
Oh, Modelo's lovely. Yeah. I was drinking them out in Vegas. They're the bollocks. Right. Want to see energy from our starting lineup in this game. I also want to see no red cards from our starting lineup in this game. For some reason, I actually fancy Spurs to get a red. Don't know why.
They love it. Now. They
Van der Ven red card. Call that one now. Should say Romero, but I'll go for Van der Ven. Probably having to make up for a mistake from Romero. Not only do I want to see energy, I want to see it from some of our more established players, because Enzo Maresca's made so many comments about the fact that these players are playing with knocks and whatnot. Listen, fixtures and the fixture schedule is more congested than ever at this moment in time. But at the same time, as me saying that, I do think like we've got the international break that just happened. If you look at the players in question, they all did get some form of a rest. We've had multiple games now where they've just played 45 minutes at a time and whatnot. I'm of the opinion now, especially after the game through the week where we didn't really see much of any of the boys I'm talking about there, I'm of the opinion now that those boys should be able to give us at least an hour of energy in it, really.
That's what I thought. I thought that after Ajax, so that was more my worry. Was that after when the Sunderland game happened?
Yeah.
And we rested everyone for Ajax with the nice, easy red card game. Didn't have to bring anyone on that didn't need to play.
It was the perfect setup to go into that game.
And I'm thinking, right, high energy Sunderland. It was so sluggish.
Yeah.
But I'd like to think that result was that poor and that performance was that poor that there is going to be a response. If there ever is a response, they know they have to turn up against Tottenham.
But then I hope that Wolves wasn't the response. Because let's be honest, it's different personnel and Wolves are shit. This is the game we want to win.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? I mean, Wolves did finish above Spurs in the Premier League last season. It's worth noting, but, most teams did. Right, I like to do this with Josh. Players that have played for both.
Okay.
I got a really high score this time round.
What, for Chelsea-Tottenham?
For Chelsea-Tottenham, yeah. Really high score. Normally my score's like 3 or something like that. I could name 8 off the top of my head. Yeah. And I'll give you a time frame. It took me about 3 or 4 minutes, really, sitting there thinking about it.
Okay.
And it's why I'm buying you some time now, right? So I'm thinking about I've named my 8. By the way, I could be wrong. Like, I could even be wrong. But then I've gone and looked up and I've added some more names to there. There was one that I definitely should have got when I added them to there. So let's go through and let's see. Mate, there's no shame because sometimes people can't even get any. Like, if you give me a random club now, and say, right, give me a player that's played for them and Chelsea, I'll probably be stumped. It's very hard. Like, do you know what I mean? So let's see how you can do. Chelsea and Tottenham. They played for them both. Who you got for me?
All right, has anyone seen Jason Cundy?
There we go. There's one.
Scott Parker.
There's 2.
Does Noni Madueke count? Are we counting him?
I've got
Madueke
with a question mark by it.
Yeah, because he didn't play for them.
Because he didn't ever play for them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, you wouldn't class you wouldn't say, oh, Raheem Sterling's a former QPR player, would you?
No, true. Well, not Madueke.
So you got 3 so far.
Gallas.
There you go. You got 4.
Jimmy Greaves.
Oh,
Old school.
do you know Jimmy Greaves was one of the ones on the list that I didn't get?
I feel
Didn't
like
get Jimmy Greaves.
yeah.
That's bad, isn't it? Like,
Well, he's that one who's just
that's one of the ones
scored
where,
loads
like,
of goals, isn't
on TikTok, I don't know if it's the same, but you'll have definitely known it off YouTube. Like, every now and again, you've got your odd subscriber in there that's over the age of 50. Like, most are under, and they'll go mad when you forget a Peter Osgood, a Jimmy Greaves, or someone like that, and it's like, I wasn't alive.
Yeah,
like,
I would love to comment on those players, but I have not seen them enough.
So I think you're on what, 5?
I think was it 5, 4 or 5? I'm not sure.
I mean, you've got Greaves, you got Gallas, you got Scotty
Greaves,
Parker,
Gallas, Scott Parker,
you got Jimmy Greaves, Gallas,
Jason
Scotty
Cundy,
Parky, Jason Cundy. Yep.
Good Johnson.
There you go.
I can't believe he did that. By the way,
number
I always
5.
think, like, looking back now, I'm like, why did you do it any time at Tottenham?
And he scored a goal from him.
I know.
I think he might have scored 2 goals from him. It's in that baby blue kit, Dell kit, I think. Yeah, you got 5 there. Good Johnson.
Oh, there was a keeper, Sullivan. Is it Sykes Sullivan?
Oh, I can't believe you have got Neil Sullivan. You got 6, yeah. You've got 2 from my list that I didn't get.
Right.
3 of you include JOEYK.
Who's like Chelsea and Spurs? Like, was there any like weird loan ones that I'm missing or something?
I would say you're missing a big one big one.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially 2.
Cudicini. That's one.
Yep. So Cudicini. Yep. That puts you up to like 6. So now you're like 2 off of what I actually got. Cudicini.
Okay.
If you're missing one big one, I'll give you a clue. Autoglass era. And then you're also missing.
Poyet.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I could give you now to get it up to match my 8. Very, very simple. He won the Champions League with us.
Oh my God, Werner.
There you go.
Werner's there.
So do you know who was in my 8 that you didn't get?
Go on.
So you got Good Johnson, you got Cudicini, you got Gallas, you got Parker, you got Poyet. Solanke didn't get.
Yeah.
He
did
play
for us.
He did play for us.
Of course he did.
He actually played like. You lot will fact check me and prove me wrong. He played a surprising amount of games. I think he played like 15 games for us.
I think Mourinho played him a bit in like those Champions League
but
games.
just off the bench and
yeah,
stuff.
Exactly.
But they count. Another really big one you missed. This I just about got this. Glenn Hoddle.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And then you got Jimmy Greaves and Neil Sullivan.
I don't know where Sullivan came from.
My
to be honest,
list.
mate. I have no idea.
Terry Venables play for both.
Right.
I don't know who Colin Lee is, mate. Do you know who Colin Lee is?
Shout out Colin Lee.
Did you know this? Did you know that we had a player called Hazard before Hazard?
Yeah, Mickey Hazard.
Mickey Hazard, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, Mickey Hazard
went
played
quite
for
early,
both. Do you know what? There's probably loads more that we actually haven't discussed.
I'm surprised there were almost as many as there were. Do you know what I mean? For Chelsea, Tottenham, you kind of think.
There's probably loads more. There's probably loads.
Like, it's kind of mad how
tell me.
Noni's done the 3, like Gallas did.
Gallas did it. Sterling ain't done it.
No, Sterling's done about everything else other than Spurs, hasn't he?
Yeah, Sterling's come close. And Sterling kind of could have gone Spurs on like a loan or
Not
something.
even now.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
Sterling.
Sterling's done Liverpool,
City,
Arsenal, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
That's mental, isn't it?
That is mad, yeah. Right, let's move on to our starting lineup. So we were going to nail down a few positions. Should I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think you've got goalkeepers nailed down as Robert Sanchez.
Yep.
Both fullbacks nailed down.
Yep.
Reece and Kukurea. And then here's where it gets interesting. So let's delve into it, because I've got out or in mind a potential lineup that I'd quite like to see. At the same time as that, I'm interested to see what you would go for here. So because we've already agreed on a goalkeeper and Reece at right back, Kukurea at left back, I'm interested to see what you'd think of the centre back partnership. Now for me, I'm looking at it and I'm going, Fofana didn't play a minute through the week. And I think that's quite a strong indication that maybe Maresca feels that he's now ready to start a match.
Yeah.
Because obviously he hasn't really been given that starting berth that much, in and out of injuries and whatnot. So I always do it as a preferred starting lineup rather than like a prediction. I don't want to predict what Maresca's going to...
Yeah, because I think yesterday was quite telling. I agree with you. I think he told us who he's playing.
Yeah, there was a few players that didn't come on, so we know.
Yeah.
But I personally would go with a player that did play yesterday.
Same.
I'd go for Fana or Champong.
Same.
Is that what you would go with?
That's
Yeah,
what I had
yeah.
in mind,
Oh,
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
mate, yeah.
Well, we're good there.
That's my
Now,
team.
here is the real question, right? Because Esteval, I believe, can play as a 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe, like, we've seen it in matches. We've seen him drift over there in matches. We've seen or heard Enzo Maresca speak about the fact that at this moment in time, he sees Esteval as a winger, and that's why he gets used to the physicality of the Premier League. However, long term, he sees him more as a number 10 option. The implications that might have on a Cole Palmer, for example, God knows. But you know, when Quenda comes in, you can see that being something that we could move to. Obviously, Estebal's played during the week. I think he played an hour of football before he was brought off.
He got subbed, which made me kind of think, oh, good.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a chance, you know?
Maybe there's a chance because we want to see him starting games.
of course.
But here's the problem with this, right? Esteban can play 10. João Pedro can play 10. In an ideal world, I think we would have been looking at a cameo for Liam Delap off the bench against Wolves that didn't result in him doing fuck all but getting sent off. And then you're looking at maybe starting Liam Delap and looking at João Pedro in that 10. But I think that sending off has skewed everything now. And now we've got to come up with something completely different. So should I give you my suggestion and you can tell me if you hate it? Because we're gonna agree with a starting lineup. My suggestion would be to have Lavia and Caicedo as the pivot. And I would say stick Enzo Fernandez in what on a team sheet is the number 10.
Mate, this is my take.
Oh, really? Is this what you're thinking?
In my head, because you were going, oh, I'm going to play a 10. I was thinking, oh, that's different to mine, because I'm going to go with the 3 in midfield.
That's what I'm thinking.
Same thing. I want to pack that midfield.
Yeah.
I want us to boss that game. I think Lavia Caicedo, because I feel like last year at Spurs, they did something similar.
Yeah, and I just think with the
with
midfield, that's where games are won and lost
Yeah,
so much
in the
of the
big
time.
games as well.
I think in these big games at the moment, right, it's like even against people that hate me for saying this, right, because obviously he was so instrumental in our goal and in the pass that led to the Cucurella pass to Esteval. But say, for example, against Liverpool, Enzo did go a little bit missing, like for periods of the game, whereas Caicedo was like an ever-present in that game. Cucurella was an ever-present. So what I want to see here is us pack out the midfield a little bit more, a little bit more of the defensive and sort of like transitional responsibility is on Lavia rather than Enzo, and then Enzo can play his game a little bit more, hopefully bring in...
He can crash that box and not worry, there's not as much space.
Exactly.
Because I agree, sometimes we look a bit stretched.
Yeah.
So I'd like the idea of us packing it out.
I personally think that if you go with a free in possession of Reece, Wesley Fofana and a Changpong, I think you're pretty solid with that. And then if you've got the likes of Lavia and Caicedo and Enzo all running about, and Cucurella all running about in that space there, I think you're going to have a very good chance at winning that midfield battle. So that is personally what I'd go with. On the team sheet, it's going to look like you've got Enzo in the 10, but we know it's going to be more of a spearheaded attack. So here's where we've got to agree on it. I think that we both would go along with the sentiment that Esteval needs to start.
We've been on the exact same wavelength with all of this so far. I actually reckon we've got the same front three.
Okay. Have we got them in the same order? Because I have got down here something that Enzo Maresca doesn't really go with. In my opinion, Enzo Maresca likes Neto to start games on the right-hand side.
Agreed, and he shouldn't.
Yeah. I think he should finish games on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because I do think that Pedro Neto offers a lot of protection for Reece James. At the same time as saying that, sometimes I get pushback when I do say it because people go, Reece James doesn't need... I'm not saying he does. I'm not saying he does.
He likes the idea of that.
I think he likes it.
Yeah.
And I think that Reece was an inverted midfielder at times before inverted midfielders became a thing, right? I think that when you saw Reece first come back from the long-term injury after the Champions League final, he was sort of half caught in between two minds. He still wanted to play that position that he used to play, bombing up down the flanks and whatnot, but he was realising, I'm not going to be able to be available that much if I just want to play like this, because I can do it for 1 game, 2 games, 3 games, but my body will break down and then I miss 3 games, 4 games, 5 games, right? And it's just not consistent enough. So I think then he started experimenting with moving into midfield, and I think that it didn't always work from that well until Pedro Neto came in. And now I'm seeing it work from a little bit better. So I do always understand the importance of having Pedro Neto on that right wing as somewhat of protection for Reece James. At the same time as things now, I fucking love seeing Esteval on that right wing at this moment in time. So I personally would have Pedro Neto in there.
Yep.
But I'd have him on the left wing to start. And I would have Esteval on the right wing with João Pedro through the middle.
Mate, I have the exact same team for this.
Really?
Exact same team.
You weren't tempted by Mark Yu?
No.
No?
No, I don't think so. I didn't. He didn't play well against Sunderland. I don't mind Mark Gu, but I think that team gets the job done. I want that midfield packed out. And like you said, okay, yeah, if Reece doesn't have as much cover, the midfield's packed out. They're bossing that game.
And as you say, like, I feel like with this team, and I'm showing it on screen now so everyone can properly see it, Sanchez in goal, Reece, Fofana, Achampong, Kukurea, Lavia and Caicedo in the pivot, Esteval on the right-hand side, Enzo, we're putting him in the 10 for the space of the graphic, but, you know, he's back in the midfield with the boys. Neto on the other side, João Pedro through the middle. With that team right there, I think we can cause them some serious problems. I think we can play through the lines against them. I think that if the likes of an Esteval starts off lively, the likes of a João Pedro as well, like, you know, I think we're very patient as a fan base, but at the same time as that, we do want to see our new signings delivering on the pitch. So a big performance from him would be something that would be really, really important. I actually think against a bit of a, and I actually mean this in a complimentary way, a bit of a shithousey defence like Spurs, I think that maybe that might be something that sparks something in João Pedro. Because everyone
he can get rolled up a bit, can't he?
Yeah, everyone, if you watch, like, I was watching the Fozcast, Ben Foster's, and obviously he used to play with João Pedro at Watford, didn't he? Yeah. And he was saying, like, this guy's a menace. He was like, you ain't seen it yet. He was like, he's a menace. Like, he was like, he will take the piss. He'll fucking pull on your armpit hair at corners. He'll do everything, stand on your foot. He's like, he's a menace, and he will do anything to score a goal. So I just want to see that more from him, because it's like with Esteval, right? You know when the floodgates started to open up against Ajax a little bit, and we started scoring them goals. There was like a last-ditch challenge from Esteval. He was lucky, actually. He only picked up a yellow card from it. Other games, other refs could have been a bit more, you know, whatever. But I think the ref gave him the benefit of that, understood he's a teenager, give him a yellow card for it. There was a few people saying, I was doing a live stream for the game, there was a few people saying, like, why would you make that challenge if you're Esteval? And I'm like, because the floodgates are open, mate. He's not making that challenge for the sake of the team. That's the selfish challenge he's made there. Yeah? I like it, by the way. Oh, the selfish challenge.
Ramsey makes him behind
he sees the floodgates have opened, and he's like, no, fuck this. We've got these lot pinned in their final third. Let's keep the ball here because I want to get amongst the goals. João Pedro's another player that I think we can get that from, but I want to see it from him in this game.
You want any striker to have a bit of that.
Yeah.
You want that, like anger that you haven't scored.
More so as well, like, just being able to sniff out when there's a time in games.
So yeah, and also if there's a game you want to kill a team.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Chelsea need to be finishing our dinner in these matches, because you see games like the Ajax game, like the Wolves game yesterday at the time of recording. You know, there's been other games this season, for example, like the West Ham game. Like, the game has been won in a 15 to 20 minute period. Yeah. And that's because we've smelt blood and we've managed to convert the opportunities we've got while that animal is wounded, basically. And that's what I really want to see in this game. I want to see that when we do smell blood, because I think we will at times against Spurs especially, I just want to see us be clinical, and I just want to see us finish things off.
Against them, it's always nice as well.
Yeah.
It's like you want to put a statement out. And also, after that Sunderland game, they should want to put a statement out.
I was going to say, does it put a statement out? Because I kind of downplayed Spurs a little bit there and said they haven't been as good as...
It's because we win there most years, you kind of think, oh yeah, we should be Spurs. But no, if we go away to Spurs and win, it's always a bit of a statement.
It's, in my eyes, it's just as good as a win against a Villa.
It tastes better.
It tastes better. It's not as good as a win away at St James's Park.
A Newcastle win would, I reckon, because our record there is so bad, would probably taste a bit better. But I don't know, I can never complain about beating Spurs. It is fun.
It is
Like,
good.
like
It is
think
good
about
fun.
it. Think how many times you've seen Chelsea beat Spurs, and it's still not boring.
So I sit
Like, you're
in,
never bored of it, are
the Matthew Harding lower,
Yeah.
but I'll sit in the shed lower for a Spurs match,
Right.
just so I can be close.
Yeah,
just
skip
so I
it
can.
beans.
I remember when we beat them 2-0. I think it was Jackson that scored both the goals. Maybe. I remember when we beat them 2-0. I sat in the shed lower, and obviously you got all the Spurs fans, and you got them right next to us and that. And I thought, just give this about 20 minutes, and you lot are going to be fucking silent within a minute. And they were. That was how it went. So, do you think we're going to silence Spurs this time out?
I think we're going to draw.
Do ya?
I do. I just think the way they play with all that long throwing and all that physical stuff, we're not coping with it well. Like, we're really not coping with it well. And I don't think that team that we've named... I think the team that we've named wins.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think he'll go with that team. I'm a little bit worried about all those long throws and corners. But hopefully they get out of the system and they go make a statement. Like, I want to be wrong on it, but...
Yeah. I want to be wrong on the team
worried.
selection because I feel like he's going Garnacho from the start. And I just think that Garnacho's a better player off the bench for
I
us
also
at this
think
moment in
Action
time.
Pong won't start
Yeah.
because he played yesterday. It's like... Like you said, he's been by centre back.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's our man, Esteban, that we look to for goals in games and for match-winning moments. So hopefully he gets the start. And at the end of the day, mate, I know we all complain about, the congested fixture schedule. He's a 19-year-old Brazilian. Like, he played an hour on Wednesday.
Yeah.
He can do an hour on
Mate,
Saturday.
everyone keeps saying it at the moment. I'm like, do you see Barcelona doing this with Yamal? No. They play him because they're like, this kid's wicked.
Yeah.
You play him. You know what I mean? You got to play your best players.
And it's about, especially
Without Palmer
Esteban.
at the moment. It's like we're missing that spark, and like he just brings that spark.
That's what I was going to say. Without Cole Palmer, Esteban's the one that you look at and you're like, right, okay, I'm actually confident you can win us a match. Someone else could go and win us a match. An Enzo Fernandez penalty, a Caicedo screamer, whatever. But I can't bank on that. And you can never bank on anything. But I feel like I can bank a bit more on Esteban being able to do it. Mate, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for a 3-0 Chelsea win in this one. I don't know why I'm feeling so confident, but I am feeling confident
Well, I said
this one.
we do normally do them, but
You know what's funny, right?
I'm quite pessimistic whenever we play them. Though I always feel like each time I'm like, oh, surely we can't keep beating them.
Yeah.
And then I almost think if I think like that, then we will. Do you know what I mean?
Listen, surely we'd have won at Old Trafford by now.
Yeah, exactly.
Some
It don't
records
work like
just
that.
keep on playing. They keep on playing. I think that when I look at this one, looking at Spurs, for some reason I see an Enzo Fernandez goal in it. I'm going to go a 3-0 win, Enzo Fernandez goal in this one.
He did home and away last year, didn't he?
He did do home and away, yeah.
So he likes to go against Spurs.
There you go. There you go. He gets the assignment. Right, people, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Score predictions in the comment section below. Tobes' YouTube channel is linked in the description to this video. And if you're on TikTok and you're not already following him, which is only a small percentage now of people on this planet that aren't, make sure you are on TikTok now. I will see you all in the post-match review.